Okay, quick question. When did video games decide they needed $1 billion to exist? No, seriously. 10 years ago, if a game cost like $200 million, people lost their shit. That was irresponsible. That was Hollywood money. Now, we've got leaks, analysts, insiders all casually going, yeah, this 2026 game might be flirting with $1 billion once you count dev, marketing, live service, everything. $1 billion for one game. Hell, GTA 6 rumors had it touching the $2 billion mark. And don't get stuck on the exact number, all right? I don't care if it's 800 million or 1.2 billion. If you're even arguing in that range, something has already gone very wrong. That's the point. Because think about this, dev cycles are longer than ever, budgets are exploding, and yet we're still getting buggy launches, half-finished features, day one patches, and don't worry bro, it'll be good in 6 months. That math is not mathing. And remember 2024, the layoffs, studios collapsing? Everyone said, yeah, that's the reset, that's the bottom, things are stabilizing now. No, that was just companies clearing the deck before the bill comes due. Because 2026 is when these massive, stupidly expensive games are supposed to launch and justify their existence. This is when publishers find out if these bets were genius or suicide. If you're tired of $70 betas, subscribe because we're exposing the industry's biggest lie. Let's talk about GTA 6, because everyone treats this game like it's the messiah that's gonna save gaming. It's not. GTA 6 isn't saving shit. It's a nuclear bomb. When that game drops, everything else just stops for everyone else. Attention gone, money gone, time gone, oxygen gone, maidens gone. We've seen this every time Rockstar releases anything big, but this time it's on steroids. Every studio on Earth is already terrified of releasing anywhere near GTA 6. Not indie devs, not AA studios, I'm talking full-blown AAA teams with hundreds of people. Because why the hell would you launch your $800 million game in the same month as the most hyped entertainment product of the decade? I also do love that Rockstar have been delaying their games, making the studio on their heels to announce their launch, as who knows when GTA might drop and scramble their release schedule. And here's where it gets ugly. Most mid-tier AAA games today need like 5 million copies sold just to break even. Not to be a hit, just to not get your studio shut down. 5 million, that's insane already. Now imagine launching that game while literally everyone is playing GTA 6. Not some people, everyone. They will either be playing it or watching it on YouTube. I have done that several times in the past when my PC was not good enough to run those new AAA titles. So what happens? If these studios miss their targeted sales, the numbers don't go up, the graphs don't point upwards because that's the only thing shareholders see as good games, then they get shut down. We have seen that happen many times. Does not matter if you made the best game of your life. Everyone gets fired and the studio gets booted off. Why do you think that so many of the games that's coming out in 2026 that were shown in the Game Awards did not have a fixed release date? Yoshi had the best and most honest answer for his release.
With this early access start date, we actually wanted to start it a week earlier.
Elden Ring DLC. まあ皆さんもエルデンリングのね DLC やりたいでしょうから。
We figured everybody would be interested in playing the Elden Ring DLC.
その代わり1週間です。
I'll give you 1 week.
He is a gamer, and he knows people will play the DLC and his game would suffer. So instead, he shifted. That's what every company is doing right now. Once the date of GTA is finalized, they will start scheduling around it. But GTA 6 isn't the only thing that might destroy these greedy AAA studios. Alright, listen up, because this next part is where it stops being haha microtransactions and starts being holy shit, what the fuck am I paying for? Publishers can't make money on $60 games anymore. That's in the past now. They can't even make their money back on $70 games if they don't sell like a few million copies of it. Budgets are insane. Dev costs have ballooned into the hundreds of millions, and when you tack on marketing and live service bullshit, a single AAA game can easily cost more than $300 million to make. So what's the genius solution? Just charge more at the door. We're already watching people casually put out $80 tags on big releases releases. Nintendo's Mario Kart World at $80 was a real thing, and Microsoft flirted with $80 on the Outer Worlds 2 before retreating because people lost their minds. And that's before we even hit 2026. There's chatter straight up about continuing to push prices higher. Maybe $80 becomes normal, or even $100 for some of these massive blockbusters. Analysts have literally said that publishers are ready to charge $80 plus, and gamers are somehow still being told that people will pay it. But people aren't even buying $70 games like they used to. Big AAA titles are selling fewer copies at full price because people either can't afford it, are burned out, or just sick of paying $70 for unfinished games. So what do publishers do? They think price hike is the answer. While people did joke about quadruple A gaming with $80 price tags or more, that is soon coming to be the reality, and that's what is going to kill the industry. Inflation is through the roof, AI is taking over everyone's jobs, the number of unemployed people have skyrocketed, and studios are increasing their game prices while still shipping out half-finished games is just ridiculous. This video shows us that people are not buying those $80 bullshit. No one wants to when you can play games like Clair Obscur or Blueprints or Megabonk, or so many of those amazing indie games which are so much better than any of the AAA titles, cost way less, and does not scam you with those 1,000 plus microtransactions when you boot the game. Yes, games from AAA companies like From Software, Rockstar, even Larian, who are in a bit of controversy right now, watch this video to know more, do drop games that people will pay the extra money for. Elden Ring had a $40 or so DLC, which so many people bought. That's because those games are worth it. Imagine paying $70 for Call of Duty, a completely new one, and getting the same one as last year, but somehow made it worse. Here's the part nobody in AAA wants to admit out loud. Risk is dead. Like fully dead, buried, funeral already happened. When a single game costs the amount it does right now, nobody wants to experiment. Nobody wants to gamble. Nobody wants to try something weird. Because if it fails, that's not, oh well, lesson learned. That's studios closing and hundreds of people getting fired. Why do you think the Nemesis system, which was made a decade ago, still gets recognized as one of the best game mechanics? Because back then, devs actually made things that they thought were impressive. They had the backing of these massive studios and were allowed to make fun things. Can you spot the difference between any of the latest AC games other than visuals and setting? I can't. So what do you get instead? Games you already played 10 years ago, but now with shinier graphics and worse vibes. Or new games that are technically new IP, but play exactly like the last 5 games that studio made. Same mechanics, same structure, same open world checklist slop. AC Valhalla, even though it was the worst AC game for me personally, still sold the highest out of any AC games. That's why they reused it, even after all the backlash it got. Why would they? The grandpas on the board saw the sales numbers and their mouths started watering. They have the control, and so they ordered the same game again. Now it's worse because AI gives them an excuse. Why take a risk on a new writer, a new idea, a new tone, when you can just feed the last 3 scripts into an AI and get generic dialogue for a sequel nobody asked for? Why hire writers when the goal isn't originality, it's content throughput? So 2026 ends up full of games that aren't offensively bad, just aggressively boring. Safe, sanitized, focus tested into dust. Stuff that exists because it won't scare investors, not because anyone had a cool idea they wanted to make. This is where indie games come to our rescue. While AAA is busy lighting itself on fire with billion-dollar budgets and $100 entry fees, players are already leaving the building. Because no one has time to waste now for these studios. People who like Call of Duty or Diablo or any of those old franchises have grown up. They don't really care about the studios anymore. The quote-unquote die-hard fans of the studios don't really play games or don't have time to play games. And the new generation, they just want instant dopamine or TikTok clips. If your game is just slop, not fun, laggy, or just boring, people will just leave. Indie games are so much better because they give you the option to try out the game without going broke in the process, and you don't really need $50,000 in order to progress through the next level. And it's not like they lack anything. Before, indie games were just mainly 2D or 2.5D scroller platformers, but now everyone has the tools to make games that look better than any AAA title. Also, these indie games don't need hundreds of millions of dollars to make games, which means they don't need to sell tens of millions of copies to get a profit. They can charge less, provide more entertainment for players, and earn a good amount while doing so. Palworld, Clair Obscur, Blueprints, Megabonk, the list goes on and on for these games, which shows indie games are genuinely the best way to go. I still don't understand why these mega corporations look at them and go, oh, so making good games actually can make us money? Like, rumors said that Concord was built with $400 million. What? It did not look impressive, played like a 10-year-old shooter, and the characters looked like my 5-year-old cousin drew it. I just get so freaking angry when talking about this stuff. On one side, massive corporations collapsing under their own weight. On the other, smaller teams making tighter, smarter games that respect your time and money. That's why this isn't really the end of gaming, it's just the end of one era.